research faculty in the Material Science and Engineering Department at Rutgers University.
I'm an associate professor in the Department of Biomedical Engineering here at Rutgers.
I work with Professor Dismukes here in the chemistry department, and I'm a graduate student.
I'm a research associate working with Professor Dismukes on renewable energy.
I'm a postdoc fellow at the Brain Health Institute.
I'm director of the Brain Health Institute. I'm a behavioral neuroscientist. I came to Rutgers 4 years ago to direct the Brain Health Institute and actually coordinate neuroscience across Rutgers.
I'm from Australia originally, and I came over to the States in 2013. My background was in retina and vision.
People haven't, to this date, thought much about the eye as an avenue to treating brain disorders. But it turns out the eye is part of the central nervous system.
I just thought, well, the retina's a perfect pathway into the brain, so we can use it as a single injection into the eye. That's very quick, takes no more than a few minutes.
We have the ability to only affect this particular circuit without affecting every other system in the body, and so there are many fewer side effects. And we find it also seems to be effective in a neurodegenerative process that happens in locus coeruleus, which is important in Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease and other neurodegenerative disorders.
Patients who are going to the hospital either with a suspected mass or something that they may need follow-up diagnostic imaging. The job of the surgeon is to remove that tumor as completely as possible while leaving as much healthy tissue behind. So you're probably familiar with techniques like MRI or CT, where sometimes you take a drink or you get an injection of a contrast agent. And the goal is to make whatever it is the doctors are looking for, whether it's a tumor or a blockage in your arteries, to make that more visible on their imaging technologies. So we're developing a nanoparticle that can be used as a contrast agent, a new type of contrast agent for medical imaging.
Our team recently developed a new technology to efficiently exfoliate or separate the graphene layers from graphite within a molten thermoplastic polymer. And this results in lightweight, high-performance composites that are applicable for the aerospace industry, automotive, infrastructure, sporting goods, packaging applications, and military applications.
I came to Rutgers because I wanted to work with Professor Dismukes. I started reading his papers, and they were on how do you convert water into hydrogen and oxygen to make the hydrogen economy work, and I wanted to work on the energy problem.
We sort of expanded on that work and got into how can we reduce CO2 using materials that we already know are efficient at similar reactions.
This catalyst uses renewable energy to break CO2 and water up and reorganize the molecule to make the monomers for plastic production.
So right now we're digging carbon out of the ground, burning it off, recovering the energy and emitting it into the atmosphere. But if we can take that carbon, or the CO2, and turn it back into something that we can use, we're closing the carbon loop.
Using a CO2 from the atmosphere that would end up just warming up the planet, we can actually make plastic bottles. We could make disposable utensils, so you don't feel bad about using disposable plastics anymore.
So as academic researchers, we spend a lot of time studying a problem, and we think it's the most important problem in the world, but it's not always that industry or politicians or the public really agrees with that.
This TechAdvance award allowed us to take the technology in a new direction, really focus on commercialization and do the science, do the work we need to do to get potential investors excited about the technology, to show them that it works for them and answer the type of questions that they would have.
It helped me look at other applications like sporting goods and automotive and aerospace applications. So, and in identifying what the customer needs were in all those different areas, and the market needs, and then the viability of our particular product in those areas.
They know that field, they know the industry people, they know inroads to companies, and we don't.
We have also talked about doing experiments that look at toxicology and safety. It's very difficult to find funding for those types of experiments. So being able to put forward a technology that we can show to potential investors, I think puts us in a much better position for commercialization.
The TechAdvance support and the team behind TechAdvance have really been invaluable for us. We've started a new company that's called Renew CO2, and really the purpose of that is to commercialize this technology.
So the TechAdvance team and the Office of Research and Commercialization were instrumental in negotiating the license with the startup company. The startup company is located in New Jersey. It will be a manufacturing plant, and will provide lots of jobs to New Jersey residents.
The work we've done with TechAdvance, and really it's allowed us to learn a lot more about potential commercial directions for our technology. The financial support has been key to that. It's allowed us to do experiments that we wouldn't otherwise be doing. The people it's connected us to have been critical. They're people we wouldn't have encountered amongst the scientific community.
We've been lucky enough to have received a gift from one of the VCs. And in addition to that, we've met with quite a few experts in the field who have given us really valuable feedback, so it's been very helpful.
Of course, every day you come into work and you're doing your research and working long hours, and I really enjoy my particular area of research. The TechAdvance Award is a link from laboratory toward commercialization.
There's a lot of funding for fundamental research, but there's very little funding available from federal agencies on the translation of science to a larger scale. And TechAdvance provides that gap funding.
Traditionally, we're scientists. We think about publishing papers and getting grants, but then at some point you stop and you think, is this technology really going to impact people? Is it really going to get out there outside of the lab? It takes an effort like this to make that really happen. People with commercial expertise, regulatory expertise, IP, intellectual property.
Every month or so that I'll get an email saying, oh, this person's really interested in your technology, or have a background in genetics or vision or brain disorders, come speak to them.
They are providing, I think, a very important service for translational medicine. They're driving forward many technologies that will either become clinically important or important in other avenues of our life and our environment.
That's something we really need to have an impact in the world. And I really hope the program continues.